Hello, I am Pete and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas Challenge of Challenges. It's certainly strange to be back in the Mojave again after all the linearity of doing the DLCs for the past, 30 episodes maybe? I'm not sure. Suddenly the whole world is open ahead of me and it's up to me where to go next. We are here back in our motel room in Novak. As I've mentioned before, this is a modded motel room, which means it's not the same as the one you see in the base game. This one's much better. Our challenge for this episode is going to be melee and unarmed only. Now, we have a couple of pretty good things we picked up. We got the industrial hand during Lonesome Road at one point. That's a really good unarmed weapon. And we have the super sledge, which we picked up off of an enemy. Both of these are kind of top tier within their class. So hopefully things will go pretty well with them. I've also added something to the pile of souvenirs here. Ulysses' mask is on the side along with all of these various souvenirs from other DLCs and locations. And I think in this episode, I am going to try to pick up the Volare quest and finish off the Boomers quest line, which we started before we went into Honest Arts way back when. I'm also going to pick up Eddie in case we pick up anything for his companion quest there. So yeah, let's set Volare as the active quest. Let's fast travel on over to Prim. Let's pick up Eddie. And then we need to start making our way towards where that crashed bomber is. So I usually like to approach the crashed B-29 from Camp Golf, which is over here. I think for a change, let's come at it from Boulder City. So let's make sure that the implant GRX is hotkeyed because that's going to be really useful for closing the distance on the lake lurks that we're going to be encountering over here. Might also wait through till morning just so we've got some light. And let's do this. So I think it's worth heading down here to pick up the fast travel point. There's going to be some lake lurks to fight. And so we're just basically going to have to run at them as fast as we can. Yeah, I think they're going to be lingering in this area down here. Yeah, four things have appeared on the compass. Now, I'm fully expecting Eddie to completely blow my cover. At some point, they will spot me. Eddie will get excited. Everything will kick off. And that's when I pump the implant GRX and dash in there. I'm just going to quickly engage VATS just to get the lay of the land. Okay, so there's one there, one with its back to us there. This one's coming towards us. Okay, let's do this. Implant GRX. And let's just try this without VATS. Yeah, that goes down pretty quickly. Let's pop another implant GRX. Yeah, this does cut through them pretty quickly. Oh, and you as well. And I've earned the beautiful beatdown perk. Yeah, the industrial hand is pretty good. It's pretty good indeed. That was absolutely, well, it was humiliating for you lads. Sorry about that. A bit of lake lurk meat on him. I'm sure there were 4, but I'm only seeing 3 corpses. Well, oh no, there's one down here. Destroy something not so beautiful. What was that challenge? It disappeared before I had a chance to see it. Destroy something not so beautiful. Inflict 10,000 damage with unarmed weapons. Okay. I don't really pay much attention to these challenges because mostly they're just things that happen by themselves. I think most players are probably the same. Okay, so we just need to head into the lake there. Yeah, so normally I approach from sort of that direction and I follow that coast. And it involves fighting quite a few Deathclaws. This way is actually quite good, isn't it? There might be some in the water, I'm not sure. I think I probably do want to put the rebreather on, which will mean taking off the Desert Ranger combat helmet. Not that I was wearing it before anyway. Okay. Over there, maybe the scavenger's platform in the middle of the lake. That's got some lake lurks on it as well. Happy to avoid them. I think there is a survival skill book on the platform. The platform hasn't even spawned in yet. There it is. Yeah, and I can see some red marks. So there are some lake lurks on there guarding that skill book. That's fine. Yeah, this is actually quite a good approach. As long as I'm happy to take on 4 lake lurks at a time, I should maybe consider doing this always. So once I've made it over to the bomber, I will swim down, plant some ballast, use Loyal's detonator, and that basically completes the boomer's quest line. And I think then after that I'll probably move on to doing the Brotherhood of Steel quest line. And generally, what I tend to do with the Brotherhood of Steel is I tend to go for the approach where you keep the current elder. And so for variety's sake, I think I'll do it the other way. Seeing a couple of red marks over there. Slightly concerned about that. Okay, so we're going to attach some ballast on this side. That gives me a bit of XP. I think I'm going to level the speech up to 100 because the thing that happened at the end of Lonesome Road was just embarrassing. I can't rely on that again. I want to have 100 speech so that it's always there when I need it. And also, given that we're doing a bit of unarmed today, let's put a few points into that. And yeah, let's pop the last one in there as well. Okay, both pieces of ballast are attached. I'm going to swim towards the shore where I can use the ballast detonator. Those 2 red marks I'm not sure about. 3 red marks. They could be lake lurks. They don't seem to be coming towards me. Lots of red marks moving there. That's cazadores. As soon as we can, let's get into crouch. Okay, we're hidden. That's good. And once we get far enough up here, we will be able to use Loyal's detonator. There we go, it's beginning to beep. So let's activate that. The boomer rises, sorry, the bomber, not the boomer, rises to the surface. And we now need to return to Loyal to let him know the B-29 is up from the bottom of the lake. There are loads of cazadores flying about over there, but to be honest, I don't feel very confident about taking them on using melee and unarmed. What have I got in terms of perks? So I've got the implant C13 that gives me boosted damage to cazadores. Do I have a thing that makes me immune to their poison as a result of Old World Blues? Okay, I've got the cardiac arrest perk, which gives me more resistance to poison, but not 100%, so I can still be poisoned by the cazadores. Let's not take any chances. Let's go and finish this quest off.
It's going to be a dream come true once you've raised that bomber from Lake Mead.
Your plan worked. The plane floated up. Seemed to be intact.
That's tremendous. I'll transmit instructions to the robots to start packing up the plane to bring it back to Nellis.
And how exactly do you plan to get the plane back here?
I just told you, the robots are going to handle it. They'll break the plane down into pieces and move it up from Colville Bay in one shot.
Are you planning to use diversionary tactics to draw their attention?
Exactly.
Whose attention?
We'll be shelling an unoccupied location in outer Vegas to get their attention elsewhere. By the time they realize they aren't under attack, the plane and the bots will be long gone. The kids wish we were shelling a real target, but Pearl thinks it's wise not to start up a war just as the lady has risen.
I assume the implication there is that the they is the NCR. Okay, well, I'm glad to have helped.
Hey, I'd better get rolling. Jack and I have a lot of work ahead of us.
Also, breaking the plane up into lots of pieces and bringing it all back, that feels like they'd need a lot of robots to do that, and I have not seen that many robots flying around Nellis. Okay, we need to talk to Pearl to finish things off. She'll be in her usual place. And also, Loyal's detonator has now been removed from my inventory, so that won't be clogging up my UI anymore. It didn't weigh anything, but it was just always there in the list, you know? Yo, Pearl. Hi.
Hello, friend. How can Mother Pearl be of help today?
I've spoken to Loyal. The B-29 is on the way.
What you have done for us is a miracle, child. You have fulfilled the only dreams we ever had outside our walls. You are a trusted friend of us all. If there is ever a way for us to help you, child, tell me, and I will make it so.
Goodbye.
Don't get blown up.
Quest complete. Can I talk to her again?
Hello, friend. How can Mother Pearl be of help today?
No, nothing. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, time to leave Nillis. I wonder if we're going to be coming back here when the end game starts to kick off and we need to make sure we have the Boomer's allegiance in the battle that is to come. But for now, let's move on to other business. So that's one fewer quest in the quest log. And what I want to do now is I want to discover the Hidden Valley bunker over here, which is where the Brotherhood of Steel hang out. The easiest way to get in there is to have the accompaniment of an existing Brotherhood of Steel member, and Veronica is your person. Veronica's always in the same place, right here.
Hello. No offense, but you look like you've traveled a long way down some bad roads. Where'd you come from?
Good Springs.
Wow, you have come a long way then. I've never been there, but I've met some traders who pass that way. Well, welcome then. I'm Veronica. I live in a hole in the ground.
You live in a hole in the ground?
Well, a bunker, if you want to get technical. I think it sounds more interesting my way. But I'm not there much anymore. I'm usually out here picking up food and supplies for my family, whatever they need.
So you just leave your family in the bunker?
Yeah, I'm not worried. They can handle themselves. But somebody has to get the groceries, know what I mean? And actually these days, I think they'd rather have me out here anyway. But that's a whole other story. So listen, can I ask you something on the level?
Go ahead.
I had a run-in with this group calling themselves the Brotherhood of Steel. Pretty strange bunch. Do you know anything about them?
I might as well use my intelligence. They're usually harmless, unless you used advanced technology around them.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem for me. I can't afford anything like that. Hey, so where are you headed anyway?
I just kind of drift from place to place.
Just wherever the wind takes you, huh? I like that. Keeps things interesting. I'll be honest, you're the first person I've run across out here that looks like she can really handle herself. There are places I've never been to that'd be too dangerous for just me. What do you think? Maybe we could travel together, help each other out.
I've got some bad news for you. I'm basically just going to take you home in a minute. You don't look like much. What do you bring to the table?
Good. That's the look I was going for. Trust me on this one, though. You'll be glad you brought me along. If I turn out to be a burden, we can part ways at any time. No hard feelings.
Okay, let's travel together.
Now you're talking. One thing you should know first, though. I ask you about the Brotherhood because I'm one of them. I know, but I had to know how you react when I told you. We have made a lot of enemies. You still okay bringing me along?
Actually, I'm more comfortable now that I know you've had some training.
I'm great at punching people. I'm not gonna lie. It's a gift. Well, thanks for taking a chance on a naive young girl from California with stars in her eyes and a pneumatic gauntlet on her hand. Let's hit the road, huh?
Yeah, Scribe Assistant perk. What does the Scribe Assistant perk actually do for me? I forget. I can craft workbench items through her dialogue. I think Eddie actually already allows me to do that thanks to the Lonesome Road upgrades. So, a little bit disappointing, Veronica, but yeah, it's not your fault. Right. So, I want to go to Hidden Valley, which is in here. Sloane, as you can see, is very close by, so it makes sense to start from there. Now, I can't remember whether when I was here before I fixed Snuffle's leg. Let's check. Your leg appears to be injured. Woof. I will clean the wound with antibiotics and expertly bind Snuffle's injured leg. Succeeded! Snuffle, goodbye. It's not really the 30 XP that I care about here so much as just helping out this poor weird creature. I think there's also a generator that can be repaired. Again, I might have already done that last time I was here. Repair of 35. Let's properly assemble it. Gets me a few XP. Yeah, that'll do. Just a couple of really easy things to do while you're in the area, if you've got the skills. So there are going to be Deathclaws down there. I'm not going to try and take them on using only Melee and Unarmed today, which may come as a surprise to you. It's the kind of thing you need to be pretty prepared for. Right, speaking of weapons, I don't currently have anything equipped. Let's give this super sledge a whirl. I feel like the bark scorpions that we're going to run into around here will probably go to one boop from the super sledge. That is if Veronica doesn't get to them first. Hello. Boop.
I've had worse.
Indeed. discovered Hidden Valley. And we need to make our way around the fence until we get to the entrance. Can I get in this way? Let's try this way. In fact, this looks like a gap I can probably hoip. Nope, invisible wall. And I think this bunker here is the one that I want to go into. Oh, look, a dead end. Boo! Okay, yeah, there's definitely a gap in the fence up at this end. Let's go that way. Currently in Hidden. Wonder where Eddie's going. Eddie seems to have a plan. Do you want to kill that thing that's over there, Eddie? No, changed your mind? Over there. Okay. You know, you two are fine. Just do your thing. We'll catch up later. I'm sure I can take on any scorpions that I run into around here. And the two of them are now running round, so they're probably going to join back up with me. Eddie's looking a little bit confused. Things will all work out fine eventually. They're just struggling with their navigation in this area. They're not very bright. All right, let's head on in through this door. And yeah, this is the Brotherhood of Steel base. And Veronica is a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, so we'll be able to get us in.
Hold on, I've got this. I'd like a large atomic shake and a double Brahmin burger. And easy on the agave sauce this time.
We gave you a password, Veronica. It's for your safety.
I know where you live, Ramos. Open up.
For Pete's sake. Opening up. Welcome back, Veronica.
Here's the welcome committee.
Listen up. I'm in charge of security around here, and I can't say I'm too happy about having an outsider waltzing around. But since you came in with Veronica, I'm inclined to cut you a little slack. Just behave yourself, and we won't have any problems, okay? Oh, and the Elder's going to want to talk to you. He's on the 2nd level. Just take a right once you get down there. My office is right here in case you need anything. Just ask for Ramos.
Okay, let's make our way down to the 2nd level.
Looking sharp, Ramos.
Hey yourself, kiddo.
So this bunker can get a little bit disorientating. It's just a question of familiarity, really. Once you've run around it a few times, you start to learn where the various things are. There is a merchant down here. That's worth being aware of. But for now, we just want to go and talk to the Elder and introduce ourselves. I love how, I open all of these doors and then they just stay open. No one ever bothers to close them. Hello. You know Veronica. They're not going to say hi to each other? No? Okay.
When Paladin Ramos informed me that Veronica was approaching with an outsider in tow, at first I didn't know what to think. After giving the matter some thought, however, I've decided that an outsider could be of use to me right now. However, I will not force you to help us. Should you refuse, you will be allowed to leave here, though you'd remain Veronica's responsibility. What do you say, outsider? Are you willing to help us?
I will help you.
Then allow me to explain our situation. This bunker is currently locked down, allowing no entry or exit, with you being one of the few exceptions. In exceptional cases, teams are sent out to investigate sites or retrieve materials deemed too important to ignore. 3 such teams have gone missing recently, and the news of their disappearance has not yet been widely spread to avoid undue concern. In order to maintain the peace and adhere to the strictures of the lockdown, I need to send someone else to discover what happened to them.
Okay, I'll begin looking immediately.
I'm glad I can count on you. Oh, and one other thing. The patrols each had a holotape detailing their missions that you can use to track them. The shielding of the bunker prevents us from actively tracking them, but their positions should show up on your map once you get to the surface. Should our worst fears become realized, please bring back all 3 of the holotapes from the patrols. Otherwise, bring our brothers home. I've given the order that you be given access to some of the equipment our scouts and patrols have scavenged over the years. You won't be allowed to purchase any prohibited equipment, but hopefully some of what's available will prove useful to you.
Cool beans.
So, you're the outsider that's been given leave to wander around freely. Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. Name's Hardin. I'm the head paladin of this chapter, and I think we might be able to help each other out. I don't know what the Elder talked to you about, but I can tell you this chapter is in trouble. And he's at the center of it. Are you willing to listen to what I have to say?
Sure, go ahead.
As you may have already heard, this entire base is under a state of lockdown. No one goes out except small patrols at night. Most of the chapter has been sealed in here for years, and those few who were outside when the lockdown was initiated are forbidden from returning. Morale has plummeted as time has gone by, and many of our current paladins haven't seen combat outside of training simulations, and all because of the Elder's explicit order that no one be allowed in or out. The only way things will change is if a new Elder is installed.
What about Veronica? She seems to come and go as she pleases.
Veronica's a special case. She handles the procurement of supplies. If we didn't let her and those like her back in, we'd all starve. If the Elder could manage it, he'd shut them out as well, and all in the name of security, which is why we need to replace him.
And I suppose you'd nominate yourself?
I would. I'm the senior-most paladin in the chapter, and have more combat experience than any two others here put together. I'd gladly support another candidate, but no one has the courage to step forward and make the attempt, so it falls to me. I would put this chapter back on the right path, if I could just assume leadership.
And how do you propose to do that?
I don't know. I've gone through our records dozens of times looking for a precedent regarding the dismissal of an Elder and come up with nothing. The people who are most likely to know how it could be done are also some of McNamara's strongest supporters, so they refuse to help me, which is why we're having this conversation. An outsider such as yourself would arouse less suspicion asking questions about such matters. The fact that the Elder has some tasks for you means his faithful won't suspect you, and you have a line open to the man himself. In short, you're in a perfect position to help me. Will you at least think about it?
I'll see what I can do.
That'll have to do. I'd recommend going to see Ramos first. As head of security, he's more familiar with our protocols than anyone else here. You could also try to find something relevant in our data store, though last I heard Scribe Ibsen is having a bit of a problem accessing it. And if McNamara should give you any tasks, I'd ask that you kept me abreast of them. Report anything you find to me, and we'll move from there.
See, as I mentioned, I don't usually go for the direction whereby you follow Hardin, but I think I'm going to do that this time. Let's look at our quest log and see what that entails. So I need to look at the Brotherhood's history files. I need to talk to Ramos. I need to help Hardin find a way to oust McNamara. And I need to find those missing patrols.
Veronica.
Okay, before I do any of that, I think I'm going to go and talk to the merchant. I think it's this way, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't very often spend much time with the merchant. That doesn't work. Okay, this is under the merchant. That's not where I wanted to be at all. Around here, maybe? Here we go. Yes. And again,
Still breaking hearts there, I see.
we open this door. No one else is ever going to close it. Knight to Torres.
The word came down from the Elder that I'm to offer you some of our lesser wares. As if I didn't have other matters on my mind.
Show me what you have for sale.
Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look.
So I'm not expecting to find much in here that's of use to me, but might as well have a little bit of a look through. I mean, there are some pretty decent weapons. Ooh, greased lightning. Yeah, okay, some of this is actually pretty cool. And there's also some things there that are in kind of 50% condition that I could repair up using jury rigging, make lots of money. They sell combat armor reinforced, Mark II. Some mods for energy weapons. And a small amount of ammo. Yeah, nothing I need there. But it was slightly better than I was expecting.
Later.
Okay, so let's go talk to Ramos first, who's just up here.
Your presence here, let's just say it's highly irregular. Outsiders aren't even allowed to know that our bunker's here, let alone come and go freely. You impressed Elder McNamara, obviously. He must believe that you'd be very useful.
God, I wish there was a way to reposition yourself during a conversation. We're going to be having this conversation with Ramos's Gauss rifle. So you're head of security. Let's start with some light small talk.
That's right. Nothing gets in or out of here without me knowing it.
And what exactly are the rules regarding entering and leaving?
Under the lockdown, only essential personnel are permitted to enter or leave. That includes supply runners and high-security patrols. All other personnel are forbidden to leave, and any personnel that were out there when the lockdown was enacted are forbidden from returning.
I had other questions.
Fine by me.
Hypothetically, what would an elder have to do to get kicked out? Hypothetically.
So you've been talking to Hardin, eh? He's been looking for a way to usurp McNamara ever since the lockdown started. Don't get me wrong, he's a good man. But Elder McNamara has done all right by us. If it weren't for him, none of us would have survived at Helios. I'll tell you what I told Hardin. There have been only a few cases of elders being dismissed from their posts in the Brotherhood's history. And those involve crimes that someone like Elder McNamara is just not capable of. You can look it up for yourself if you want. I'll grant you access to that portion of the history section of our data store. See Senior Scribe Ibsen about accessing it.
All right. Do you want to tell me about what happened at Helios?
I'm sure someone's told you all this before. Several years back, we were running our chapter out the Helios One solar power station. Our elder at the time, Elijah, had some kind of obsession with the place, which is the only reason we stayed as long as we did. That place was hardly defensible, and we knew the NCR was moving in on us, but the elder refused to budge, insisting that he just needed more time. We never found out what he needed time for. Wave upon wave of NCR troopers hit us from all directions. We held out for a time, but we were grossly outnumbered, and they had more men than we had ammo. Eventually, our positions collapsed. Elder Elijah was nowhere to be found, so McNamara took charge and led what remained of us on a counteroffensive west. We lost a lot of men and women, but we broke through and made it here. Make no mistake, McNamara saved this chapter that day.
I'm going to feel pretty bad about ousting him then. Who is Elijah? We've met Elijah. We trapped him in the Sierra Madre.
Who was Elijah, more like? He was our elder before McNamara. Bright guy, but just between you and me, he was a little off. Our mission is to recover and preserve the technology of the past, but Elijah wanted more. He sought ways to improve upon technology, make it better. When we found Helios One, he was like a kid in a candy store, kept talking about the potential and a grand design never realized. He even insisted we set up our base there, against the objection of nearly every paladin. What followed is a whole other story.
Okay, I need to get going.
Bye.
All that talk of Elijah has made me realise, do we have something we can talk to Veronica about?
What's up?
Okay, there's nothing in here that mentions Elijah. I have questions I wanted to ask you.
He was dead when I got there.
Ah. Nothing here. Tell me about the Brotherhood of Steel.
It pays like ass, but it's hard to get other work with my skill set. What do you want to know?
How do you feel about the other members?
I called them family before. That's not far off. Both the good and the bad. It's like a big, unending family reunion in that bunker. There's people you love, people you'll never speak to again, and it's always awkward when you run into someone you used to date.
Do you like being a member?
I know sometimes I sound like I don't. I know. But there's something that still rings true to me about our code. There's an honor to it. We're protecting people. Even if it's from themselves, it's a good cause. We just lose sight of the big picture sometimes, treat all our practices with the same sacredness.
As always with companions, there are just so many things you can talk to them about that I don't really want to show all of it on this video because, if you're interested, then buy the game and chat with them yourself. Okay, never mind.
Darn it. I had some spectacular answers coming too.
Tell me about yourself.
I like long walks in the desert and candlelit metal workshops.
Ever been in love?
Ever been nosy? I was, once. We were pretty young, but I like to think it was love.
What happened?
She left the Brotherhood. Wanted to put some distance between herself and her parents. Since our membership isn't open to outsiders, some members think that obligates all of us to procreate. You can guess which camp her parents belong to.
You didn't go with her?
No. Couldn't bring myself to leave everyone else behind. Couldn't convince her to stay, either. I'd hoped love would be enough to influence her decision, but it wasn't. We were both too stubborn. I don't know where she is now, but I'm sure she's moved on. I still think about her, though. Once in a while.
I know where she is now. Her name is Christine, which Veronica, of course, knows, and she's at the Sierra Madre protecting it. But we are not able to talk to Veronica about this. Let's keep moving.
Let's.
That's disappointing. I wanted to talk to her about Elijah a little bit, but never mind. Okay, so there's questy things up there. And, yeah, we need to look at the Brotherhood's history files. Now, this is a slightly annoying little part of the quest because it's quite randomized. And it turns into a bit of a trial and error thing. But let's get it out of the way. I'm wondering if my implant GRX will be able to help me. That might be nice. So let's just drop a save here before we progress further. And let's talk to this scribe Ibsen.
Look, this isn't a great time. Oh, what the hell. It's not like we're making any progress. I'm Ibsen, and I hope your day is going better than mine is.
Something wrong?
Yeah, I'm in charge of keeping this data system up and running, but accessing it is a little, touch and go at the moment.
Why is that?
One of our exploratory patrols, back when we had exploratory patrols, found a data disk in some ruins out in the waste. Well, we finally got around to cataloging the damn thing and got shut out of our own data store the second it loaded. Turns out it had a virus on it.
Oh, a virus.
Yeah, some pre-war jackass with too much time on his hands apparently decided to inflict his misery on those around him. It's scrambling all the terminals here at the moment. Luckily, we only use this section for storing historical data.
Anything I can do to help?
I suppose it couldn't hurt to get another pair of eyes on this. While the entire system is infected, the virus itself is spread across 3 terminals. The problem is that it keeps moving periodically. We'll have it nailed down in a terminal or 2, only to have it jump to another set of terminals before we locate the 3rd.
Can the virus's files be partitioned so read access is only provided by the kernel administrator?
What? No, that's brilliant. It would let us seal a portion of the virus to a particular terminal, even when the other parts move.
What do I need to do?
You'll need to locate it on 3 different terminals in this area in 1 minute. Any longer and it'll jump, and you'll have to start all over. Locating the virus would probably be nearly impossible, but the pompous little bastard that wrote it made things a little easier for us. Normally, terminals infected by the virus just display gibberish, but we found that terminals the virus moved to had some real data passed to them. We were able to decrypt the data and discovered that it was just messages from the virus's writer taunting his victims. When you find terminals with those messages, lock them down and move on. Find 3 of them before the virus jumps, and we'll wipe the damn thing.
I'll give it a try then.
Best of luck to you. I'll tell the others to take a break so they don't get in your way. Oh, and I'll keep track of when it jumps for you. To maximize your chances, wait for my signal before you begin.
Okay, we're going to make use of the implant GRX here. And then just keep trying. I hope our companions don't get in our way. So let's wait for a signal.
The virus just jumped. Find which terminals it went to.
Okay, so I'm going to activate an implant GRX. Access data store. Okay. Go to the next. Access data store. Okay, partition virus. Go to another one. Oh, is that a 1? I think our implant GRX just ran out. So let's take another one. I don't know if this is going to help us at all. Access data store, that's not a 1. Access data store, partition virus. Okay. Have we already done this one? Implant GRX is worn off. Take another one. Access data store. That's not a 1. 10 seconds. Okay. Access data store. That's not a 1. Implant GRX is worn off again. Access data store. That's not a 1. Oh, was there one there? No, run to there.
Don't work too hard there,
This might be my last attempt.
Ibsen.
Oh.
I think we might have run out of time.
Damn, it's jumped.
Yeah.
I thought we might have had it that time.
No such luck. There's a lot of terminals to check. Let's try having another go at this.
Did you want to try isolating the virus?
Yes.
All right. I'll monitor when it jumps. When I give the signal, start checking terminals.
Okay, let's get ourselves positioned by a terminal.
The virus just...
Okay, activate the implant GRX and let's get down to things. Let's use this one here. I suppose I might as well make my way around the room methodically. Okay, partition that one.
That's it. We go.
Take another implant GRX. Oh, here we go. Access restrictions confirmed. Select a topic you wish to peruse. Oh, so, okay, so I wonder if that Science 70 check meant that actually my attempts from the first run were retained for the second run, making it a lot easier. Yeah, okay. Right, let's look at the bunker information. Project goals, Hidden Valley. The goal of the Hidden Valley project is to create a self-sustaining shelter for high-ranking VIPs that can serve as a command structure in times of crisis. The bunker itself is located several hundred feet below the surface. Multiple layers of reinforced materials serve to prevent a breach of the inhabitable areas by anything, save for a direct hit by a bunker-busting weapon utilizing a megatonnage considered outside the capability of America's closest competitors. In the event that our enemies become capable of such an attack, the bunker's dervish camouflaging system makes targeting the site impossible for automated systems, forcing aggressors to rely on guesswork and sheer luck. Systems overview relies on two main systems. The Candle fusion power system provides power to all bunker systems. Built more for reliability and duration of service, the power output of the system has been exceeded by many current designs, but it can supply the bunker with power for an estimated 752 years. The Dervish camouflage system provides visual and electronic interference to prevent airborne or long-range enemy weapons from targeting the bunker. The normal soil around Hidden Valley has been supplemented with a combination of aluminium and various silicates, which are then dispersed using a widespread network of industrial fans to blanket the area in a cloud of what is essentially chaff. Combined with the electronic countermeasures of the nearby array at Black Mountain, the bunker at Hidden Valley is effectively impossible to target. Neat. Let's find out about Elder dismissal incidents. Search for Elder plus dismissal in topic history returned the following results. Number 1, let it be recorded that on this day Raymond Lorne was dismissed from his post as Elder for committing the crime of murder. Brother Lorne was known to have hostile feelings towards the victim, Senior Scribe Ritter. The guilty party insists that Ritter's death was a tragic case of friendly fire. The bunker was under attack at the time, but the tribunal felt they could not let him persist as Elder with such suspicion hanging over him. Head Scribe Buckok. Incident number 2, be it known that from this day, Kenneth Jones shall no longer bear the title of Elder. Brother Jones has willfully gone against the chain that binds and has been forced to step down. Head Paladin Lindqvist succeeds him as Elder. Head Scribe Morgan. Okay, we don't need to read about the third incident because that has already caused our quest to update. We need to ask Paladin Ramos about the chain that binds. Let's go do that. Looks like he's through here somewhere.
Hello.
Up there. Let's not go around the back again. That was too awkward last time.
Oh, hey there. Something I can help you with?
One of the data store entries mentioned the chain that binds. What is that exactly?
That's an old principle that's been around since the Brotherhood was founded. It basically means that you have to obey a superior officer. It's pretty much common sense, but it gets invoked a lot when people get pissy about following orders. If you're curious, I'll give you access to the data store entry on it. You'd probably be the first to read it in years, if not decades.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Time for me to go.
Later.
So now I need to go back down to the data store, I guess. Okay. Well, I think this is probably a good place to end this episode. In the next episode, we're going to find out about the chain that binds, and if that's not a cliffhanger that's going to leave you desperate for more, I don't know what is. See you next time. Bye-bye.
How may I assist you?